name is Sharon Bladholm, and I'm here today at the Ryerson Woods in Deerfield, where I've had an exhibition for the last couple of months. This was a very appropriate place to have a show, and I'm here today at historic brushwood building where I've had an exhibit for about 2 months, and most of the work in this exhibit is based on an expedition that I made in 1999 to the Rio Pastaza in the middle of the Peruvian Amazon. The expedition was co-sponsored by the Field Museum and Conservation International, and I was lucky enough to be invited to be the artist for the expedition. I participated in an aqua wrap, which deals with freshwater riverine systems. And on an aqua wrap, the idea is to collect the maximum amount of information in the minimum amount of time, and use that scientific data that is generated from the expedition to affect policy making in coming up with more sustainable ways of using or protecting a particular riverine system, in this case the Rio Pastaza in the heart of the Peruvian Amazon. In the late 90s, I went to a lecture by Barry Chernoff, who was the head of the fish department at the Field Museum in Chicago at that time. And I later talked to him and showed him some of the artwork that I had created on my own forays into the rainforest in Mexico and Central America. And this was a wonderful experience where I interacted with 17 other scientists. We had botanists, ichthyologists, people studying the water quality, people studying the crustaceans, and during this time, as we traveled down the river collecting amazing plants and fish, I drew these plants and fish as fast as I could. Some of the work here are pieces that I did while actually floating down the Rio Pastaza, but in many cases they are artwork that I used the quicker sketches and photographs that I took on the expedition and did larger pieces back in my studio here in Chicago. And there's quite a variety of work, both ceramic work with sculptural fish elements based on the fish that we found on the Rio Pastaza, along with quite a few of the very detailed renderings of fish, to the more expressionistic, if you will, monoprints. And this is a monotype, and I'm working on plexiglass, and then instead of putting marks down, after I roll the plexiglass completely black, I wipe the ink away, so it's a reductive way of working. And I found that the monotypes are a very nice vehicle for showing some of the larger structures of the rainforest, and the etchings, which are done on a copper plate, become a wonderful way to show very detailed aspects of the environment. And so they kind of become like prints within prints. This is an example of a way I've developed of working with watercolor on rice paper. And I did many of these actually on the expedition while we were floating down the Rio Pastaza. One of the most amazing things to me when I had this chance to participate in this expedition was how many new species are still out there yet to be discovered. In this short expedition of a month, we found about 22, actually it was 22 new species of fish. And by new species, I mean, you know, they were in the river for a long time, but they were not known to scientists, not known to human beings. They had yet to be named. And to me, that's just amazing that there's that much left out there that we don't even know. And if these habitats and ecosystems are destroyed before we've even had a chance to take a look at them, you know, it's kind of like these fish will be ghosts. And I've actually done a couple pieces based on this idea, one at the Garfield Park Conservatory in Chicago and one at the Modern Art Museum in Bordeaux, that I titled Ghost Fish, Ghost Forest. The idea being, if we destroy the habitat before we've even explored it, those fish and other creatures, of course, fish, flowers, you know, a whole range of insects, of creatures that dwell in that habitat, will become ghosts before we even know what they were.